Now this could become a little controversial. We've all watched these YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikToks of camera gear that you guys should buy. And instantly you think, I really, really need that. And if you say you haven't, I don't believe you for a second. We're constantly spending money wanting to buy the latest camera gear, and unfortunately, sometimes we do live to regret it. We get that piece of gear, that accessory, we try it once, and we think perhaps, yeah, it's okay. And let's be honest, we do that to justify spending the money in the first place to our girlfriend, our boyfriend, you know, the one at home we always tell, yeah, honestly, this is the last piece of equipment I'm ever gonna buy. Honest. But deep down in here, we know the truth. We know that it's something that is gonna go in that drawer, collect dust, and never see the light of day again. Today, I'm gonna open up that drawer, so to speak, and go through 5 things that I've actually bought and actually regret buying. Starting with item number 1, and that's filters. Filters are useful in some situations, and there's 2 filters that I use almost daily, and I'm going to be doing a video about them in the next few weeks. However, a couple of years ago or so, there was one filter that came out, and it seems that every filter brand has now jumped on the bandwagon. Around 18 months ago, I took the plunge, I bought this filter, and honestly, I don't think I've taken one photo that I'm pleased with, that I'm proud of. I've never posted a photo on my Instagram or done anything with a photo that I've taken, even to the point, I don't even think I've got a raw file to be able to just edit, to be able to show you what it does. That one filter is a streak filter. These give you the look that an anamorphic lens gives you. Kind of. Not really. No. They pretty much give you the streak across your image when something in your image is fairly bright. And when you're shooting bright lights in general, you sometimes get the blue highlights, or if you have the gold one, the gold highlights across your whole image. And I guess for the odd photo, it's alright, but hear me out. These things don't really give you the same effect as a true anamorphic lens. No matter what you tell yourself, it doesn't. It gives you the streak that you may see in anamorphic footage, but it's so strong. And if you're shooting at anything smaller than f2.8, when you get to around about f4, you start to see the lines that are actually in the filter in your image. The filters also spin, so if you're wanting to use that and the variable ND filter to do any filming, then you've got 2 filters which constantly want to spin and move around. It just gives me a bit of a headache, and I have no idea why I bought it. I was stupid. You've probably seen these on the internet. These are little dust blowers which you can use for your camera sensor or your lenses in general. Well, I have one and it's going back. They cost between 60 to 100 pounds for one of these. And why? They're so loud. If I had to use one of these in public, I literally may as well carry around my Dyson Hoover. Now, what's wrong with a good old-fashioned rocket blower? The great thing about this is, obviously, you don't have to think about charging it up. It just goes in your bag forever, and it just works when you need it. I just don't understand it. Like, why try and recreate the wheel? If you've watched enough YouTube videos in your time, you will have seen one of these before. This is a Joby GorillaPod, and I first bought this when I first started wanting to make YouTube videos around about 4 years ago. In fact, I tell a lie, this is the second one I've bought, because the first one broke, and now so has this one. The legs are fiddly, it takes a while to get into the position you want, it's never 100% stable, and one day when you least expect it, one of these legs is gonna break, and your very expensive camera is gonna come crashing down. Now, I do use something else which is fairly similar, but a lot more stable, and that's the PGY Tech Mantis Pod Pro. If you want to watch a video about this, I'll leave it just up here for you to watch that. Next up, getting a little bit more controversial now, I somewhat regret buying a drone. Now, don't get me wrong, they are incredibly useful. If you want to get any kind of aerial photography, aerial videography, back in the day, the only thing you could do was either hire a helicopter or hire a plane. But here we are in 2023, you can buy a great drone for very little money, take you up in the air pretty much wherever you wish, and get all the photos and video that you want. The camera quality on these drones is getting better every single year as companies like DJI bring them out. I've loved having a drone, and they have helped me out many times on different jobs that I've been doing for clients. However, I do feel like most people think that it's almost a photography, videography must-have. But between me and my business partner, we own a Mavic 3 and a Mini 3 Pro, and we do use them. However, we maybe only use them for maybe 2, 3, 4 shots for every single video. And I'll be quite honest, For them kind of shots, if I didn't have a drone when it rains on them days, the video quality isn't any different. Them 2 or 3 shots would have been missed if I was to replace them with something else from my camera. But no matter what, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, what if somebody complains? What if a Karen just wants to come out and start having a go at you? Obviously, there's the argument of if it's legal and you're flying it legally, then it's fine. But honestly, in the past, I've had a Karen come at me about flying my drone in a legal manner. But sometimes, is that confrontation with somebody really worth it for just a few shots? Because not only is that confrontation between you and the person who's causing the confrontation, but it could also cause problems for the client also. And finally, the most controversial one yet, a gimbal. Now this thing is a relic. I bought this around maybe about 4.5, 5 years ago when I first bought a camera. This thing, if you've never seen one before, is the original DJI Ronin S, and I have no plan on upgrading it anytime soon. And part of this is down to how little I actually use it. Now this all comes down to what kind of work you're having to do with your camera, and I have no doubt in my mind that using a gimbal is really, really useful for particular types of shots. However, if you've ever owned or used a gimbal, you'll know how annoying they can be and how much they can actually slow you down. Having to put the camera on, then you balance it, and then you do a few shots and you think, oh, I really need a handheld shot. So you take the camera off and then you want to change the lens, and then you think, oh, I need another gimbal shot. So you put the camera back on the gimbal, it goes on forever and ever, and it's just annoying. I feel like as long as I don't have to do any fast-paced movements, chasing somebody down, doing the tracking shots at speed, I can normally get by with just my camera and my hands. And personally, for some work, I actually love the look of handheld footage. So thank you very much for joining me on this therapy session. If you've ever bought anything and just think, why have I bought that? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to know what it was. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then hit the subscribe button. And if you do, I'll see you right there in the next one. Laters.